What's goody team? What's goody team? Hope everyone has had a great day so far. Hope everyone had a great trading day today. As always, we will be going over the pairs that you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. But if you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know and we will go over them. We'll start in a minute. We started the stream early today, guys. I was on time today. Just gonna give about another minute to join and then we'll get started. These last couple sessions, they've been pretty long, so today's gonna be pretty calm. Should be finished in about 30-45 minutes. Go over everything that we need to go over. We'll talk about some moves that were made today. The only pair that I was really keeping an eye on was NZD-USD. Gave us a pretty good entry, but the entry again was during Asia session. Unfortunate, it wasn't on the chart when that entry was given. It happened like maybe an hour or two after the session. But again, it was all good. Price did exactly what it had to do. A lot of these pairs actually moved today crazy. So, again, we'll talk about that. A few more seconds and then we'll get started. Alright. Sit up straight here. Alright, so AUD-USD, we know that we are in level 3 on a downtrend. We know that price gave us the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, gave us the lower low, and now we're just looking for this lower high to be set on the daily time frame. So once again, like we've been talking about for these last couple days, last couple weeks, we had our first point of interest, which is 800 EMA. Gave us the lower high. Perfect. I am still expecting price to give me a steeper, higher high up here. So we can see how price is moving. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I am still expecting another higher high to be made to fill this gap in that was up in the 30-minute time frame. Now, does price have to fill that gap up? No, right? It's a second point of interest. So the question is now, well, okay, what are you looking for to start looking for those entries going short? And on the lower time frame, which is going to happen on the 30-minute, because on the 4-hour we're still trading in the same trend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. What I'm looking for now on the 30-minute is for price to start giving me the change of character break of structure down to the bottom side. I don't know why I didn't delete this yesterday. And right now we know that price is still trading between this lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a higher high change of character. Price induced the 30-minute lows twice, once on Thursday and then once today. As soon as Asia session started, gave us the inducement of the 30-minute highs and then went down. At this point with AU, we also understand that we're currently stuck in a zone of consolidation where price has been rejecting these highs and rejecting these lows over here. So what I'm looking for now is not really, well, oh, if we break these lows here, are you looking for, you know, a break and a retest to go short? No. Why? Because we are currently still trading, again, low, higher high up here because it broke these highs, right? It gave us a higher high. So technically speaking, if price breaks these lows, this could still be the higher low for price to continue into a higher high. So before I start looking for these entries going short, I'm not looking for my entries here because this was all still considered a higher low on the 30-minute time frame. Where I'm looking for is for price to give me a break of change of character, lower low, the retest, and then I'll be looking for price to give me the break of structure, lower low, lower high. This is where I'll start looking to take those trades to go back down to the bottom. Right, and did this daily engulfing get tapped into already? Because this would be a nice point of interest. Right, we still haven't tapped into this engulfing candle either. So that looks like what price wants to do. More than likely. Give us a nice little entry just to go down into these daily engulfing candles down here. And once again, why am I looking for that point of interest? Because again, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. We're currently still looking for a higher low to be set to continue that push if price decides to give us that push. But again, all those confirmations will start on the 30-minute time frame. So we just want to be careful with AU. This is currently still a pair that I'm not going to be trading. Once again, I'll be waiting for those change of characters, break of structures to the downside. Once we get those movements, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. What's good, Albert? Good evening, my brother. Welcome, welcome. AUD CAD. We know we're still in the first zone consolidation on a downtrend, which is A1. First zone consolidation is called A1, where price is still rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. Price rejected the lows, came back to the tops. Now, once again, the same thing as AU. What I'm looking for on ACAD is for it to start turning around and give us those change of characters and break of structures to the bottom side. We're still on an uptrend on the daily. We're still on an uptrend on the 4-hour. On the 30-minute time frame, technically, we're still on an uptrend as well. We could see price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price now at the end of the day gave us that change of character, lower low. Alright, so we're trading between here. And I don't even like using those big candles as a zone to look for, right? These wick candle or these gap candles when price open, I would honestly just be looking at these lows down here. And regardless, it'd be the same thing. Right, the change of character happened here. Changes this to red, so we know that we're trading between now this high here and these lows. If we could get this break of structure down to the bottom side, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. So ACAT is definitely going to be one on my watch list to keep an eye on. Price already gave us a change of character. We'll be looking for a break of structure to be given now. Now, could we go up to the higher time frames real quick and look for engulfing candles going short? Absolutely. Nothing on the daily, nothing on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, there's nothing. 30-minute, there's nothing. 15-minute, there's nothing. And then 5-minute structure, when we're looking at it, let's take a look. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. Change of character, yeah. So same thing on the 5-minute too. So these lows are going to be very important. If price could break these lows, then we'll start taking those trades. Break, retest, to then continue. So ACAT is going to be a good one to keep an eye on for tomorrow as well, and for the week. For Euro AUD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We had the double bottom, push 1, first zone consolidation where price is moving sideways, push 2, second zone consolidation where price is moving sideways, and then push number 3 that we're currently in, that we could still see price giving us higher highs and higher lows. And once we zoom in, go into the lower time frame, the 4-hour, we could see that price is currently stuck in a range, zone consolidation on the 4-hour time frame, where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs. So now that we're at the low of the zone consolidation, this is what we call our safety trade. This is our first point of interest to start looking to take trades back to the top side. But currently, as we zoom in on the 4-hour and we go down into the 30-minute and look for the internal time frame, the internal structure, what do we see? Price is still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low. So what does this tell me? That right now, price is still on a downtrend. Right now, I can't look for price going long. I can't look for long positions because we are still making lower lows and lower highs. Right? We might think, oh, but we have a double bottom here, for example. A lot of people who trade patterns, just patterns, not looking at market structure, nothing. Oh, there's a double bottom. I'm going to take this trade because it broke the neckline and I'm in the trade. And I have my stop loss down here. Right? Not understanding that you're trading between lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We can see that once this lower high was set, price came back, gave us the inducement, and started going back down. Right? So when you're looking at it like this, now you're like, oh shit, but this is also a double top. Right? So this is why you stay away from trades in these areas. The trend is your friend. If you're not taking trades following the trend, is going to be very difficult. You're going to have a very difficult time taking trades in the market, winning trades at that. For EURUSD, currently in previous peak highs. So this is a pair that I'm not going to be trading. We're just going to update it real quick. See if there's anything missing, anything that I have to change. We're still trading between the same daily, 4-hour, and 30-minute highs. We still have this gap at the top of the market, so we could still be expecting price, and we know we could expect price to go higher, right? Again, the question is, when is price going to come back up? Because remember, gaps in the market are left behind, yes. The question we have as traders, which is the answer that we don't have, is when is that gap going to be filled? Because that gap could be filled the same day, it could be filled the next day, it could be filled 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, right? So understanding that, we also could see, like, okay, why would price want to leave that gap up there? And when we're looking at structure, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. Could price give us a steeper pullback to give us another lower low on the lower time frame, right? But on the higher time frame, we know that it's just higher high going into a higher low. Once price goes into the higher low, we know that we could look for price to continue that trend back to the top side. And that target is going to be the gap. So that's all we got to wait for. So our confirmation now, there's 2 confirmations. So the number 1 confirmation, or the first confirmation, is going to be the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. If we say that we're in level 2 on EURUSD, currently on the current trend, even though we're in previous peak highs and we say we're in level 2, we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. Level 2, you're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. Level 1 and level 3, you're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. And again, when we look at structure, we can see that price is making higher high, higher low, higher high. So if price gives us this higher high and it gives us a higher low here, we know that we could start taking these trades back to the top side and target the gap that we have here at the top. So right now we're just waiting for that puzzle to be connected, waiting for those pieces to be made. We know that on the 30-minute we had a change of character, lower low, lower high, and we have the inducement of the lower low. It did not give us a valid break of these lows just yet. So now, okay, there's 2 things I'm looking at on the 30-minute. There's 2 days of drop. Could this be a continuation trade? Could this be a tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's trading day. Could it be a continuation day where we continue these downtrend pushes? Of course. And again, the question is, how do we know when price is either going to turn around or continue the trend? And this is where the lower time frame comes into play. So on the 1 minute, well, on the 5 minute, when we're looking at structure on the 5 minute, we know that we had higher high, higher low, higher high. I'm not going to mark any of this, right? Same trend as the 30 minute, right? The exact same trend. Now on the 1 minute, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high. Same thing. Let's see. Let's go. Let's take a step back. I want to see how steep those pullbacks are. Okay. No, this is fine. So we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we had higher high, higher low. Then we had higher high, lower low, change of character. And then price gave us lower high, lower low. Then it gave us lower high, lower low, 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 higher high, change of character, higher low, higher high, boom, low, change of character, right? And then we have low, high, low, high, low, and we're trading between this low and this high. Right, so on the 1 minute time frame, price gave us a change of character to the top side. If on the 1 minute, price could give us a valid break of structure after this change of character, we know we could take that trade back to the top side. And we're looking for these highs to be broken. So EURUSD is going to be one on my watch list for sure. Here was goody candle. So EURUSD, keep this one in our watch list. I'm going to write this one down in our daily. Oh, I didn't even post the. Daily watch list for 10/07/2025. EURUSD. Okay, but I was just typing that in the chat. So EURUSD is going to be definitely on our watch list for tomorrow. EURUSD, very similar to what we're going to see in a later pair with GU. We know that we're in level 2 on an uptrend. We had level 1 for zone of consolidation where price moving sideways. We had the start of level 2 that gave us the break of structure of the zone of consolidation where we could see price giving us higher high, higher low, and where we're currently in the higher high. Price didn't give us a valid break of these highs, just an inducement, so I'm not marking this just yet as a higher high, higher low, higher high on the daily time frame. Go down into the 4 hour, and we know that we have same thing, but we did have a valid break on the 4 hour time frame. Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. Price did not give us a valid break of the 4 hour actually. Could we be seeing price give us a higher low to go back into a higher high? Could it happen? For sure. Am I expecting it? No. For EU and GU, I am wanting to see a steeper pullback on these pairs. Now again, does price have to give us these steep of a pullbacks? No. But I am expecting it. So we go down into the 30, and again, the same thing that we're looking for on the other pairs. Before I could even consider to take these trades going back up, I need to start seeing higher highs and higher lows, right? Or same thing that we were seeing on EURUSD, which is what's going on here on EURUSD. Price gave us a lower low change of character, lower high, and then price is currently in the inducement of the 30-minute lows. And again, we have 2 days of drop. Could price give us that third day push to continue the downtrend push that it wants to give us that external higher low that we're looking for? Price going from higher high back down to a higher low? 100%. And same thing as EURUSD, we still have that gap at the top of the market. So again, if price gives us a nice inducement of these lows, and we could do the same thing on the 5-minute time frame. Let's go look at 5-minute structure. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we had higher high, higher low. Then we had higher high. Then we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So on the 5-minute we're trading, right, lower low, lower high, lower low. On the 5-minute we're trading between these highs and these lows. So when we're looking at it, see price never broke these lows until here. This is our 5-minute break. We're trading between this high over here and these lows down here. Now, price still has a good amount of pips because this is only on the 5-minute time frame. Could price do something like this where we make lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gives us a change of character, higher high, higher low, higher high break of structure, and then this is where I'll start looking to take the trade to go back to the top side. But if price gives us a break of the lows, we know that price is gonna go back down. So it's just a game of being patient, waiting for the right confirmations, waiting for the right moves to be made. Once those moves are made, then you take the trade. If the moves aren't being made, then stay out. No need to rush into a losing trade, you know? Then we have no engulfing candles on here as well. So we could already see how price is reacting to these areas. So we'll come back to EU as well. Gonna put this on our watch list as well. Again, guys, any questions, just let me know. For GBP AUD on the daily time frame, we are in currently peak high territory. So this is a pair that I'm not going to be trading. Once we're still making higher highs and higher lows, once we start turning around and start making lower lows and lower highs, that's when I'll get back into GA. We also know that we're on a lower time frame zone of consolidation where price is still rejecting lows and rejecting highs. And on the 30-minute time frame, we're also in a little zone of consolidation where price is still making lower lows and lower highs. So as I said earlier, this is not going to be a pair that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Just gonna wait it out. Once we see that trend shift on the higher time frames as well, once we start seeing a trend, because currently we're still just moving sideways, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. GCAD, we're still sitting at these highs in level 3 on an uptrend, still expecting price to reach our previous peak highs at these highs over here, so we still have a lot of room to go. But we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Price still hasn't given us that valid break on the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, no valid break either. 30-minute time frame, still just inducing these highs, right? Still hasn't given us that break, and we had 2 days of rise, didn't give us a third day push, and again, that's okay. We're trading at the highs of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend. You already know this is not the best spot to be looking for a trade. All those trading entries you have up here, the entry strategies, they're all low probability at these highs. On top of everything else, on the second day we had a gap in the market, resets the trend. So regardless, this 372, the reason why it wasn't even on our watch list is because it's not even a valid 372. So GCAD, we'll wait for GCAD to start giving us that move. Once we start seeing the move, then we'll start trading. I need to wait for that break. Once we get the break on GCAD, that's when I'll start looking to take the trades. GJ is flying, man. Gave us the break and just never gave us a freaking retest, right? So daily time frame, what was I on the weekly for? We know that we were still on an uptrend, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and on the run to the higher low going into the higher high, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation, and we were looking for that valid break of these highs that we finally got with this candle here. So that's okay. Didn't give us the entries going back up. Perfect. What are we looking for after the break? The retest, right? At these lows, we know that we have a 30-minute gap. Is the retest of where the break of structure happened. I already understand. All right, cool. Once price gives us the set higher high, we know that we could turn around, start looking for those positions, going back down, back into the higher low for price to fill this gap in. So this is going to be an easy trade on GJ, man. It's going to be a very simple trade for GJ. On top of everything else, we have 3 days of rise. Once again, after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. However, remember, we have that gap on the second day. So technically speaking, and once again, gaps reset the trend in the market. So technically speaking, this is 1 day of rise, 2 days of rise, and tomorrow's market for the 8th, right, for what, Wednesday? For Wednesday, which is what we're seeing right now, could we expect price to continue this uptrend push for a third day push to the top side? 100%, absolutely. And on the 30-minute time frame, we know that we're trading between this higher low over here and the higher highs. We still don't have a set higher high just yet, so I'll keep this here for tomorrow morning and we'll update this when we're back on the charts. And if we go to the 5-minute, 1-minute time frame, we're still trading between higher high, higher low, higher high. Price even gave us a 5-minute engulfing candle, tapped into it, went right back to the top side. Could have been a nice trade though. Little 372, we're talking about 19 pip stop, or a 19 pip TP for a 4 pip stop. So it wouldn't have been bad. If only I was on the chart a little bit earlier, wouldn't have been a bad position to take for GJ. So we'll be patient. Once GJ starts giving us lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame, we know we could take those trades back down to the bottom. And once we get that change and break on the 30, we know we could take those trades back down to fill this gap up at the 30-minute gap. So we'll be patient with it. GJ is definitely one to keep an eye on. Gonna write that one down in our watch list as well. GU, and we're almost done here, guys. These last couple pairs. NZD USD or US 30 going down, not really trading them like that, but again, we'll still go over them. But this is pretty much the last. NZD USD is pretty much the last pair. But GU, we know that we are in level 2 on an uptrend. Once again, we had push number 1, V1 for zone of consolidation. We had the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, higher high, higher low, and then price gave us again a higher high, and price has just been moving sideways in these areas. On the 4-hour time frame, once again, same thing. We know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and once price gave us this lower low, price is just moving sideways. Just sideways movement the entire time. Once we go down into the 30-minute time frame, what has price been doing for the last week? Just moving sideways, rejecting the lows, rejecting the highs, and very similar to GA or GCAD, price gave us 2 days of rise, did not give us that third day. It went down and gave us a day of drop instead. And we're still trading between lower low, lower high, and lower low. So GU is one where just have to wait for price to turn around. And this is a good example, right? If you thought that, oh, we had a nice engulfing candle at these lows, I think on the 15-minute time frame, right? And you took a trade going long on the retest, you went straight to stop loss. Because again, how could you take a long position? It doesn't matter what your entry strategy is. This is why I always say there's a difference between market structure and entry strategies. And I'm not going to name drop anybody, it's okay, but just to give out some examples, right? A flag post pattern, that's not market structure, that's just an entry strategy. Engulfing candles, fair value gaps, all of those things are just entry strategies. If you don't connect market structure with your entry strategies, you're going to be having a very tough time in the market, right? Double bottoms, double top, harmonic patterns, right? All these things are entry strategies. So, yes, is an engulfing candle part of my entry strategy? Yes. But if it's not following market structure, I can't take a trade going long when price is still making lower lows and lower highs. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So going into NZD USD, this is a pair that we were looking for last night. We know that we are in A2, which is the second zone of consolidation, and we're looking for that third and final push to the bottom. Price gave us a rejection of the lows, came up, gave us a zone of consolidation. It gave us a nice little break of the zone of consolidation, gave us a lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us a nice little retest of the area, which now if we go down to the lower time frame, again we can see a little bit clearer, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and price came down. So the entry that was really here on NU, right? So exactly what we were looking for on AU, and the same thing that we were looking for, I believe, on GJ, right? Price gave us a change of character to the top side, higher high, higher low, and we were looking for price to either give us a break of these highs or an inducement of the highs to then start going short. It gave us the inducement. Once price gave us the inducement, go down into the lower time frame, and you're looking for the change of character, break of structure. You had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, change of character, lower low, change of character, right? Lower high, lower low, break of structure, and then you're looking for the lower high. Now we didn't have any engulfing candle for the entries, so this is purely just market structure, and you're looking for the EMAs. You could use the EMAs again. They're another indicator that's pretty good to use. I use them. We have the 800 EMA. We know we're looking for price bounce off the 50 EMA. But since all the EMAs are bunched up, all three of them, cool. Keeping an eye on the 800 EMA. There's two entries here that I would have taken and I would have continued to look for. So the first entry would have been once we saw price give us the first inducement of the 800, it came back under. It came back up, I would have taken these trades here. Stop loss above here, cool. Once price gave us the internal break of structure, retest right on the 50 EMA, that would have been the second entry, and my stop loss would have been above here. This little internal structure here, and it's above the EMAs as well. So I would have had the first entry and then a scaling entry here. Entry here, stop loss there, and then TP would have just been STP for the day. Whatever STP was for NZD/USD yesterday, that's what we would have caught. And I believe it was what, 34 pips yesterday, so this would have been down here. All right, so we're talking about 2 pip stop loss for a 23 pip, 22 pip TP. Wouldn't have been bad, right? But again, the entry was given pretty late at 1:30 in the morning. Unfortunately, I'm not on the chart at that time. I'm sleeping with a tooth fairy waiting for me. Put another tooth under my pillow, man. So NZD/USD gave us a beautiful entry. Now we're right back down at these lows again. Currently gonna wait it out. Gonna see what price wants to give, right? We don't have any other engulfing candles here. Currently nothing. We just know that we're trading on a middle of the area, middle of the zone, right? Could this still be a higher low point? It could be. Technically speaking, it could be. So we want to be very careful now. So NZD/USD is not on my current watch list for tomorrow. US 30 on the daily time frame. We know we're trading at a higher high. We're trading in peak high territory. This is the highest point in the market. We're still trading between the same daily highs and 4-hour highs. We currently have no engulfing candles on the daily or the 4-hour. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Same, 4-hour highs as well. No engulfing candles. On the 1-hour, we have another engulfing candle. Damn, when was this engulfing candle printed? 10 a.m. STP was already hit at this time too. That's crazy. It gave us a beautiful engulfing candle here for today to take this trade back down. The only thing with US 30 in the 1-hour time frame, we're talking about a 70 pip stop loss. And again, what TP would have just been STP for the day, but STP for the day by the time this 1-hour engulfing candle was printed, STP was hit already once we made this push, the inducement to the highs, right? So unfortunately, the entry for today for US 30 was just given a little bit too late, right? And we know that we also had this 1-hour engulfing candle at these highs that price never tapped into. So I'm still going to keep it marked up here just in case, right? It's just another point of interest. We also know that we have 2 days of drop, but with US 30, again, it's a fairly aggressive pair, right? We have a gap on the first day, but that's okay. We have 1 day of drop. On the second day, we have 2 days of drop, but we had a gap in the middle of the day. Or once price opened already at 6, 7, I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6:30, at 6:30, price gave us a gap, and then we also have that gap at 1 in the morning, that price, or I'm sorry, at 10 in the morning, that price printed. So, am I expecting this 372 to be given? I'm not expecting it, but it could happen. So I'm still gonna mark it 372. Gonna put this one on our watch list as well. So US 30. US 30. $372 going short. US 30 is looking good. We'll keep an eye on it. USD CAD, this is one that we're just gonna skip through it. I'm just gonna update the 30-minute time frame. We're just moving sideways, so there's nothing really to talk about here. External time frame, daily structure, even when we're looking at the market makers pattern, currently we're in the unknown phase, right? Are we in the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend? Are we still trading this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low to continue a little bit higher? This could still be on an uptrend, but again, like I was explaining yesterday, and like we talked about during the session that we did in the Discord on Sunday, could this be the start of the downtrend? It could, because it's following the rules that we need to look for. Bouncing level 1 off the 50 EMA for zone of consolidation, above or on the 800 EMA. Level 2, we're looking for 50 to cross below the 200. The 50 is below the 200, and we're currently at the top of the zone of consolidation. So right now, price, when we're going into the internal time frames, price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows. So currently, I'm still going to be patient with USD CAD. These areas look prime. I know for a lot of people, like, oh, this looks like an obvious uptrend. But again, the fact that we're at the top of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, right? I would want to start seeing price externally get away from the zone of consolidation. Once we break above this zone of consolidation that we're in, alright, then I'll be a little bit more comfortable taking these trades. But I need to see price break these highs before I take that trade going back up to the top side. So, gonna be patient with USD CAD. USDs are pretty much very similar. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend. We have all these engulfing candles that price is still just sitting in. It hasn't given us a break below the lows, hasn't tapped the lows, it's just been sitting here. We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation too here at the bottom for the last 5-6 days. So USDs I'm not going to be trading it for now. Gold, very similar to US30, we're trading at a higher high. We're at the highest point in the market. We're trading in peak high territory. So this is another pair that for me currently I'm not really that interested in trading. As you can see, the daily highs, we just got to update these every single day, man. This is just moving way too much for no reason. Update our daily highs. I'm pretty sure we'll have to update that again anyway. Our 4-hour highs need to be updated as well to these highs. And then our 30-minute highs and lows. You know, we're still making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So on the 30-minute, we also we don't have a set high just yet. So we'll update that in the morning. We had 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. But we had a gap at the start of today. So again, resets the trend. Could price continue this uptrend push? Absolutely. We also know we have a gap here in the market. And again, that'll give us pretty much a little indicator that, hey, price needs to come down and fill that gap. So whenever price is ready to start downtrending, once we get those confirmations, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. So even on the 5-minute, we're trading higher high, higher low, and these higher highs here. What I'm looking for on the lower time frame is going to be engulfing candles. It's going to be price giving us that change of character break of structure. Those are going to be the things that I'm going to be looking for on the lower time frame here on gold. We know we had high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low change of character, and then price gave us a higher high change of character back to the top side here. So even on the 1-minute, we're trading between these highs up here and these lows down here. So we won't really have, unless price comes back up, right, and then gives us, oh, wrong tool. Again, we know we're trading between this high, so if price comes up and gives us a break here, then we know that we're trading between this low and this high. And then if price wants to continue the downtrend push, we know we could take those trades back to the bottom, right? But I need to see that inducement of these highs first. So gold is also going to be one to keep an eye on. We're going to write down on our list. Copy paste, change the name. This is XAU USD. Looking for price to fill 30-minute gap going short. Then the last two pairs here, guys. Bitcoin, I'm not really trading it right now, so this is one that, again, we'll just keep updated. We're trading at a higher high, peak high territory, similar to US30 and gold. Price was giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then it gave us a change of character, lower low, so we were trading between these lows down here and these highs up here. We already know if price gives us the change of character and then it gives us a break right after, once we get that break, we know we could start taking those trades back down to the bottom. This is a change of character. To the downside, change it to red. 4-hour time frame. Trading between these highs now. We just gotta update this real quick. No continuations on the 4-hour, no engulfing candles on the 4-hour, no engulfing candles on the 30-minute either, but we should go to the 1-hour. Crypto usually prints their engulfing candles on the 1-hour time frame. Yep, we have one right here. 1 hour engulfing. And then on the daily time frame, we are still trading between the same thing. I'm not going to update it because we do not have a valid break of these highs just yet, so I'm not going to mark this as a higher high, higher low, higher high on the daily time frame. But again, very similar to US 30 and gold, we're just trading in peak high territory. We're the highest point in the market. Could we just be looking for price to give us a higher low to continue into a higher high? For sure. So we'll be patient with Bitcoin. And then US oil, we know that we are in level 2 on a downtrend. We had level 1 for zone consolidation, the start of level 2 that gave us a break of structure, gave us lower low, lower high, and now we're just looking for those continuations. Looking for price to go from that lower high back down into these lower lows. So we're just looking for those now internal structure moves to continue to look for price going short to give us that lower low on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, same thing. We could just see that we're kind of stuck in the zone of consolidation as well. Price still hasn't given us a valid break of these lows either. Still tapping our BOS line. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us a change of character, lower low. Has not given us a valid break just yet. For 2 days, price was moving sideways. Then today, Tuesday, price gave us a little push to the top side. Again, want to be careful with trading this. We're reaching 800 EMA. That is definitely going to be a little point of interest to start looking for these trades going back down. We had an engulfing candle here that was nice. Price tapped into it Wednesday in the beginning of October and then went straight down in a profit. So this is telling me that this is a lower low. Just got to be patient for that lower high to be set on US oil. Once that lower high is set, then it's crystal clean entries back down to the bottom. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Anything else you guys want me to go over? Any specific pairs you guys are looking at that you want me to talk about or go over? Any entries you guys took today that you want me to talk about and explain? Just let me know. If not, that'll be it for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session at 7 a.m. Eastern, exactly 11 hours from now. Any questions at all? And for the people who are watching the recording, same thing as always. You know, you guys feel free to if you have a question, leave it in the comments. You know, you could always message me on Discord. You could always hit me up on Instagram or X, Twitter. Anything else at all, let me know. Give you guys another 40 seconds in the chat. Anything else at all, let me know. Alright, seems like you guys are good in the chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Peace out.